Great to have you with us as we welcome you to Alan Langer Trophy quarter-final day here at Cougarai Oval. We've got Marsden taking on Caloundra first up here this afternoon. Drury Falls alongside David Wright. We're underway. It is a smorgasbord of schoolboys football today, and what a way to start finals day. He dropped that cold, did the number 13. And we're going to get a scrum to pack down almost immediately here. As we take this opportunity to introduce our co-commentator, his former Wavell student, and he captained Wayne Bennett back at Brothers back in the day. He represented Australia, played in a winning Challenge Cup final. It's a very good afternoon to David Wright.
Well, thank you, Drury, and always great to be here, and especially with finals footy. A lot of pressure on. We've just seen already an error so early, and there's a lot of pressure on these kids to exceed at this level. There's a loose ball. And Drury, I don't envy you trying to pick these jerseys. I think they've put the same set on both teams. That's incredible.
That is incredible. Have you ever seen anything like it, David Wright?
They're a perfect match. So
who organised the jerseys? Dead set. Who organised the jerseys today? It's a quarter-final, for goodness sakes.
I think one team's forgot their jerseys and the other team's given them the second set.
Oh, boy. They are almost identical, really. Let's hope there's no serious injury as a result of this. We're just still trying to confirm who's got the ball. We do believe that Marsden have the football at the moment. Of course, Marsden State High School taking on Caloundra State High School in this one. Marsden having qualified in first position, Caloundra in seventh. The Alan Langer Trophy quarterfinals today. State High School champions, of course. They won it all last year with 2 undefeated Ipswich on the back of the season, led by Josiah Parker, who Ipswich in third position. They'll take on St Mary's Toowoomba, who snatched that final position after a walkover to qualify. To finish here today at Cougarai. What shapes to be arguably the most exciting. It's the grudge match, the local derby, Gold Coast rival schools. Success by both the Palm Beach Club and taking on to bring us home today. Caloundra have the football, 10 metres out from the Marsden line here. So just to clarify, we've got Caloundra running from right to left of screen in the first half. And Marsden from left to right in the first half, David, as we see Caloundra with the first genuine real opportunity of this one.
Yeah, it is, and they're very close to the trial and two, so a good chance for the underdogs to get off to a good start. Good play too, to go down that left-hand side, just spun short of the try line. So good effort here by Caloundra to, they've got to try straight up. Good work there by
The number 9, the hooker. He went himself, took advantage of some defence that perhaps wasn't quite aware or fast enough to get there in time. What a try to open things up for Tina Moate.
Well, that is a huge start by Caloundra. Caloundra have come into the quarterfinals of the Langer Trophy in position 7. They're new into the competition this year, having got promoted into the comp, and they're playing the top side. They're playing Marsden, who were undefeated through the rounds of the Langer Trophy. So to get off to this sort of start is very, very impressive. And they've got some, they're not without good players. Obviously, if you play in the Langer Trophy, you're in the elite top 8 sides in southeast Queensland already. So they have got some good players of their own. But I'll tell you, Marsden are red-hot favourites for this. They're standing behind the try line now, and they'll be wondering, Drury, how has this happened? They might be confused about whether they should be tackling one of their own players. Those jerseys are the same. I'm predicting quite a few intercepts today too, I think. But this is a terrific start by Caloundra. They are the underdogs, and to get their noses in front and put a bit of pressure back on Marsden, we're yet to see them show their wares. So they'll be back, don't worry about that. Extra 2 points will be handy. Shocker.
Humphries with the conversion attempt, and that's unsuccessful. So 4-0, Caloundra from the Sunshine Coast, leading Marsden, who are based out of Logan, south of Brisbane. Caloundra 4, Marsden 0, and this Alan Langer Trophy quarter-final here at Cougarai Oval. Knocking was the William Seamoo. He's certainly one to watch, number 4 for Marsden today. A real strike weapon, and then a knock on the very next play, just going for it from dummy half there, Cairo Ruri. And a knock on the call. Referee, we should point out, is Baden Sawyers. So congratulations to young Baden, who's got the task here of being in charge of this quarter final. Marsden, they qualified in first position, and they trail early here against the underdogs, Caloundra. 4-0 Caloundra lead, just on Will Seamoo, number 4 for Marsden. He's one to watch.
Well, that was a golden opportunity there for Marsden to hit back straight away. They try to go to dummy half as well, and that's the little knock on. Well, they get another chance now, and the good sides are hard to hold out, 15 metres out from the try line. That's where they can show their wares. And as you say, Drury, Will Seamoo, I'm pretty sure he played for Marsden last year as well. He signed with the Storm. He's a big, robust left centre, and he'll be dangerous. Let's see what Marsden can do after this shock start by Caloundra. They have them thinking. This will test their defence, though. Midfield scrum, you don't get it much better than this to attack from.
Absolutely. And they go towards Seamoo's side early, who just links up inside with the halfback, and now slicing through looks like it might be Vui Pola, who goes all the way, and Marsden have responded here at Cougarai Oval, 4-all. Kick to come for Marsden.
That's a good hit back by Marsden. They would have been a little bit shaken by that initial try by Caloundra, but they've hit back straight away.
So the conversion attempt coming up here by the skipper, Kobe Black, to put them in front. And the table-topping Marsden State High School hit the lead for the first time. 9.5 gone. Quarter-final of the 2023 Alan Langer Trophy. It's Marsden 6, Caloundra 4. So, back underway here. Marsden hit back after conceding the opener. Great to have you with us on Allan Trophy quarterfinal day. Caloundra, the defending team here, running from right to left of screen. They qualified in 7th. Marsden finishing in 1st, running left to right. And now up to halfway as the ball comes loose. And we've got a penalty. Penalty here to Marsden. Raking the ball. Referee Baden Sawyers, touch judge Trent Melliot, and also Harry Kalpakidis. Of course, Marsden having some success themselves in recent years in the Allan Trophy. Winning their first ever Allan Trophy. And there's an error. So we'll get a scrum to pack down. So 6-4, they trail Caloundra. Scored the opener. As you mentioned, Marsden State High School, they finished in 1st. They have broken through for their maiden Allan Trophy title. And we've got another scrum to pack down here. Of course, Ipswich State High School are the defending Allan Trophy champions. They'll be in action later today. So Caloundra now, 12 and a half gone. We've had a few scrums packed down the last couple of minutes. Certainly the sting taken out of that last Marsden try. How can Caloundra respond? Cool conditions here at Cougar Eye today. And here they go through the halfback McClellan. That's Tully McClellan up towards the 20. Caloundra. Tina Mayoate there, the number 9. He was the try scorer earlier. 20 out, 11 in from touch. They go through the front row on here to Hohia. Bradley Higgins with the tip on to Jalen Hohia. 12 away centre of the park. Caloundra, little kick there, aiming perhaps for the upright. Tough, tricky bounce there for Vui Pola from Marsden. And he did well, only a metre out. And as the referee blows his whistle, I think we've got still the number 7 down in back play in Tully McClellan, just receiving some treatment. We do have the continuous clock here at the Allan Trophy. Of course, extra time does come into calculations today, if required, at the conclusion of full time. We'll go to Golden Point, 5 minutes each way if required, and if it's still tied up after that, it goes to count back. That's when most tries comes into consideration. Good to see him get to his feet there, young Tully McClellan for Caloundra State High School. So Marsden with the fullback Vui Pola to play it, coming off their own line. They lead 6 points to 4. Thought about the offload then, did Patrick Kailami. And here's a break made, some good metres. Up towards the 40 here, Marsden's. And now over halfway. Big run, Will Simu again. Simu, strong as ever. 42 metres away, Marsden, right at the line. And here's a break made by the front rower in Salua. Got the pass away there to Andrews. 10 away, quick play. The ball on from Corey Pearce. They come out to Simu. Be hard to stop. Here will Simu. As he charges towards the try line, the ball comes loose. And Caloundra might have to get it out of their own in-goal area. It's with White. And that was Bodie White, and we've got a knock on the call. Referee Baden Sawyers. They look good there, Marsden. Great break up the middle, started there by Sione Salua. And again, if we got another change over here, Corey Pearce. So the completions of both sides, not where each coach would like those numbers to be thus far. Patrick Kai-Harley, he's making an impression on this game. Now on the inside there from Kobe Black. And they keep it alive here, Marsden. Out the back to Pearce, claiming the try. Can he get the ball down? That's the question. Can he get over the try line? He's just short. Marsden out towards this broadcast side. Black, long face ball. Intercepted! Intercepted! Well, we heard it earlier from the maestro himself. And there's the first interception, as predicted by the great man David Wright. It was Humphreys, Caden Humphreys, and they've got the penalty here, Caloundra. We spoke about that, and you can only hope the jerseys didn't play a part there. And again, it's mind-boggling why we haven't got one of the teams in the away kit today. As we've got a penalty.
Penalty here to Caloundra. This will give them a good chance to go back on the attack. Good work by Caloundra too. It was Humphreys, the left winger, took a long looping pass from Kobe Black, the halfback, cut it out and intercepted. And now a good chance now. This is probably one of their better chances off the back of their early try to perhaps put more points back on the Caloundra boys, the underdogs.
Yeah, chance to retake that lead in this seesawing battle in the first half here. Caloundra by McLellan, and now this is Mayate. Another drop ball from Caloundra.
Well, as part of his reason is strong defence there by Marsden in particular. Salua, good strong tackle. He's a big boy. Across from Auckland, I think first year at Marsden. And that'll relieve a bit of pressure. Now Marsden last time showed how they could just march upfield with their big men straight down the middle. They also used a little bit of width as well. Let's see if the defence of Caloundra this time can hold their ground. It's very important not to concede easy territory here, and Marsden's the side that can capitalise if you do.
And they're capitalising up the middle of the park at the moment, Marsden. And nice inside ball. This is Saxon Innes. And now they're up towards that 20 and beyond here, Marsden. They keep it alive. That was Kobe Black again. And now the little kick through from Jackson Andrews. It was ricochet. And Marsden come back. Was that 6 more?
Well, it could have been. Let's just see what pans out. They'll do it tough here, Caloundra, to hold out Marsden. They've got to this point, and they've got some pretty good players to capitalise in this area of the park. Big one back on the inside there to Suala.
And reaching out here. No double movement, I don't think. It's Sione Salua, the big number 8, who scores for Marsden. That's their second. They extend their lead.
Is the referee happy with this? Yes, he is. So they had a big rap on Suala. He's a big front rower. They got him across from Auckland in the last off-season. They needed a bit of size, Marsden determined. They've been on the top of the Langer Trophy for a few years now. Of course, Ipswich undefeated went through and won it last year, and then they won everything, including the national final. We'll see Ipswich a little bit later on today in one of the quarterfinals of the Langer Trophy. And of course, the year before, Palm Beach Currumbin won the Langer Trophy and then went on to impressively win the Phil Hall Cup, which is the state final for all these respective sides. Good chance for Marsden to add the extras.
And add the extras they do, Marsden. Courtesy of Kobe Black. 12 points to 4, Marsden over Caloundra.
It just shows how strong Marsden are. Anytime they've got possession, even from deep inside their own territory, they're making big yards. A possible restart of the tackle count certainly boosted their chances. Important here for Caloundra, who've done extremely well thus far, even to be down 12-4. They ran 7th in the overall Langer Trophy this year. Marsden were the top side, undefeated, albeit they did draw 2 games. So this is a big step up for the Caloundra boys. They're only just come injury into their Langer Trophy this year. The good thing about the Langer Trophy and all these pathways that are set up now for these young kids, they've got promotion and relegation for Langer Trophy. 2 sides drop out, the last 2, and 2 come through to make it into the following year. Caloundra are one of those. That's what's reckless. Here's Marsden again going down that left side.
So Marsden now. Gee, they've had the best of the yardage, haven't they, territory-wise? And quick hands. Oh, this was brilliant. Polar into the clear. He's got support in Nosa on the outside. Wonderful defensive play there by Elijah Brive. Now the crossfield kick from Kobe Black. And did that come off the crossbar? Play on the call. And it's going to come out the way of Will Samuel with a little flick pass out the back. It's coming back for a penalty, which was high. So we'll get a penalty here. And just on the jerseys, I'll just, final comment on that is, perhaps this is Caloundra's away strip, and if that is the case and they do have the away strips in play, well, surely common sense then prevails and we say, well, right, well, Caloundra can play in the home strip to avoid the clash. But whatever's happened here, certainly even from a player's perspective, first and foremost, surely there was another jumper that one of these schools could have worn this afternoon.
I think one team's forgot their full set, and they're using the second set of the first team. They're almost identical. But look, the boys thus far, it hasn't bothered them. So Caloundra running from right to left, as we've said. They are very strongly linked with the Melbourne Storm, and they have a bit of purple in their jersey. I've seen them actually in their some other strips they got where they've got the full Melbourne strip, almost the full purple. But, quite a close match here for the jerseys, but so the players really wouldn't be greatly affected, albeit we've had one intercept.
Okay, so Caloundra with some football, and now another. Gee, well, it's not an error. He was not happy with the play the ball there, the referee. Looks like is the case.
Yeah, loose, lost ball as he got up to play the ball. And that's all the hard work's done in taking the initial impact of the tackle. You've just got to concentrate and make sure you're tidy in the action of getting up to play it. This gives another chance for Marsden. 30 halves in this Atlanta quarter-final. We've got a little bit of argy-bargy. Nothing much. Disagreement. Referee splitting up both sides. Looks like he's found a penalty in this one. He's calling in his touch judge as well. The touch judge will hold the mark.
Referees we mentioned, Baden Sawyers, touchies for this one, Trent Melliot and Harry Kalpakidis.
2 skippers being called over now. The referee not happy with the attitude and approach by both teams effectively. Settle it down, boys, or I'll settle it down for you. So Drew, Baden Sawyers. Here's Contention's clear and a penalty going to Marsden. No. That will repack the scrum.
Impressive young man is Baden Sawyers, so we'll repack the scrum. And now Marsden. Will Samuel winding up, pushing away from the first two attempted tackles. She's a hard runner. That was a courageous tackle made there by Caden Humphreys, the number 2 from Caloundra. And now Marsden, here it is, Makatatos Nosa, the centre 3/4. Quick hands again. Inside ball from the 5'8" to the try scorer in Sualua. And now just some fancy footwork by Jackson Andrews. And the speed of the play, the ball is making it tough for Caloundra at the moment. Marsden, little give and go from Lewis Simons, and here's a chance. They're in Marsden. Clinical set of 6. Cairo Rui, the try scorer, and that caps off a wonderful team try from Cairo Ruri, I should say, and Ruri finishes a try. David Wright. That was from a flawless set of 6 from a Marsden perspective.
Yeah, what I like about Marsden, they go to the line and are prepared to just draw and pop a pass, and they're creating opportunities close to the ball. They're not trying to stand real deep and try and get them around them. They're trying to punch at them and standing up defenders, and they've done that very well. They've gone through them a few times. On that occasion, it was Andrews, the number 6, who again got into good position and then got his hands free, and as a good edge back rower should do. Cairo Ruri backing up his 5'8", timing was good, and Ruri just cut back on the inside, beat a couple of defenders right on the try line. They were in trouble at that stage. But Marsden now, to a certain extent, showing their class after Caloundra got off to a flyer. The underdogs led 4-0 and looked pretty impressive early, but they've had difficulty, Drury, really just stopping the swarm of Marsden. Marsden having no trouble making territory down the park. They do it quite comfortably, and then once they get up into their opposition territory, they are prepared to, like link pass is what I would call it, going at the line and just drawing one and popping, and they've done that a few occasions to trouble the Caloundra defence. And this now stretches things out. What have we got? 16 points to 4 with the kick to come, and a couple of minutes up to half time.
This is the toughest of his assignments for kicker Kobe Black so far for Marsden. Moves in, strikes it with the right foot. He doesn't like it. It's unsuccessful and didn't quite have the distance. So his first blemish today, Kobe Black. Marsden leading Caloundra 16 points to 4. That score should read. And just a couple of minutes remaining before half time. David G, it's really turning into such a beautiful day here on the Bayside in Brisbane's east.
Yes, perfect down here at Cougar Eye Oval down at Wynnum. The pitch is looking immaculate. It does run east-west, this ground, or primarily east-west. The west being out to our left-hand side. So as we go through these other quarterfinals, be a little bit difficult running right to left later on in the day. And another penalty here going to Marsden will get them, a slim opportunity with a minute to go. They're capable of doing this, so if they hurry their kick for touch, which they're very aware of. And a minute is plenty of time for a gun side like Marsden to add extras. Let's see if Caloundra can withstand the attack that comes at them all the time. And there's another indication. They find it difficult even to out-muscle them. But they're competitive, Caloundra. They're standing their ground as best they can. Another big charge up the middle. Good quick play the ball too. Well, tried to.
Yeah, Lewis Simons there. Tried to get it off quickly. 19 away. Now the referee wants another play the ball, does he?
Wasn't happy with the position of the play the ball. He hadn't reblown his whistle. Here we go.
He's back with Simons. Here is Sialua. On now to Tuwilla, rather. That's Braden Tuwilla on the right side. The right edge back row. Ruri on the other side on the left. Again, this man in Salua.
Done a lot of work.
Certainly has. He's been their best so far, Salua. This could be the final set of 6 of the half. Black with a little no-looker. Face out to Vui Polo. Juggle. Is he good enough to get there? Vui Polo. Defence comes across. McLellan there to hold him up. Last play. Is it the last play of the half, perhaps? Fired pass out there from Tinsley. The hook. A little kick in behind. Chasers coming through. Let there by Jackson Andrews. Just a bit too much breakfast on that kick. And Caloundra will take it out to the 20.
Yeah, they're going to get a chance to tap and run too, because we're really pretty close to time up. So Caloundra, important here not to give possession back to Marsden. They did well there to defend their ground. That was not easy. Marsden had a full set of 6 right on the try line, and some good last desperate defence. There's the half-time hooter. Marsden in command at half-time, 16-4.
Welcome back to Cougarai Oval. Great to have you with us. 2023 Allan Langer Trophy quarter-final day, and kicking off is Marsden. They hold a 16 points to 4 lead over Caloundra, who currently have the football. They scored first, Caloundra, then conceded 16 points. The winner of this one to progress through to the semi-finals, and Caloundra, who are with it, they qualified in 7th. Marsden, they qualified in 1st, looking for their second ever Allan Langer Trophy this season, having broken through for their maiden Allan Langer Trophy title in 2021. Drury Forbes alongside the great David Wright. He is the 1974 Challenge Cup winner, playing for the Warrington Wolves, defeating the Featherston Rovers, and then went on to represent Australia the following year. Also Captain Wayne Bennett. Righty, great to have you with us once again.
Yeah, thanks, Drury. Good to be here. Always love these finals at the back end of the season, the business end, and it's so good for these young kids, because they've done well to get to the final series, the quarterfinals of the Langer Trophy. And Drew, what happens now, the pressure just goes up a little bit. What they're really doing through all these pathways now is just testing the kids in finals, in rep football, see how you perform. So a good performance initially by Caloundra. They got the first try, as you said, and then Marsden have pretty much dominated possession, and they're going to do that. They're going to cause some problems. So we've got Caloundra running now from... That's Marsden now taking the ball up, and they're very powerful up the middle. They do cause a lot of trouble for the smaller Caloundra side. And there's another big charge, could go all the way, just held at the end. Just held up.
So Marsden here on the last, played by Simons, back to Black. Here they go, crossfield kick, danger times here for Caloundra. Brivet was there, and Brivet got the ricochet, took it on the full player down in back play. Caloundra, they live to see another day for now.
Yeah, Brivet's got a big rap on him, the number 14 for Caloundra. He's only in year 10. Well, he played Queensland 15s. He signed with the Melbourne Storm. They reckon he's a really, really talented. A lot of Storm Academy or Storm contracted players in the Caloundra outfit. And, of course, that's no great surprise. Of course, the Storm linked up with Sunshine Coast Falcons. So they're doing a lot of work to develop the game up in the Sunshine Coast, the Storm.
He has an under-15 Queensland rep as well. Elijah Brivet for Caloundra played under-15s for Queensland. There's a bouncing ball distributed back there by Andrews to the fullback, and Marsden will have their first tackle. 42 out from their own line, useful where they'll start this set. And there's Vui Polo, in fact, it's the winger there in Louis Lee with some quality metres. Only 40 out the Marsden side.
Yeah, they're not moving up in one line, Caloundra, and that's allowing Marsden to just charge up midfield and play it as they want.
So coming across now, number 7 for Marsden, looking for their 4th consecutive try. They came within inches last set of 6. They go the short side via Tinsley. You have to think Caloundra cannot afford to allow another try here. Marsden, look at this play, beautiful crossfield, unopposed kick. Oh, brilliant take, Louis Lee in the corner. That was textbook. That was Champagne Rugby League. It went from one side of the field to the other. Pinpoint kick. Even the big number 10, Kahali, got involved, and Louis Lee finishes off a wonderful set play from the Marsden side.
Yeah, beautiful kick that by Andrews, the number 6. Just got into position, and the kick was as precise as you could get it. Louis Lee was perched out here on this left-hand side. Knew it was on. I think that's a good thing about it. It shows good teamwork and knowing what your players are up to. Good constructive play by Andrews and put on a dime. And Louis Lee, the left winger, came through, took it comfortably, albeit very close to the touch and goal line. And another set of points for Marsden. As we say, they have been the top side throughout the Langer Trophy this year. The best 8 sides in southeast Queensland play in the Langer Trophy. There are second-tier comps, and we'll see later on today St Mary's of Toowoomba, who have made the quarterfinals of this particular competition by topping the second-tier competition and getting into this final 8. But Marsden have topped it. They've only lost, they haven't lost any games actually. They've drawn 2 and won 5 others. This one now their first quarter-final. To add extras, they haven't been too good on the kick. Kobe Black has got a big rap on him as a constructive half, signed with the Broncos as well. See if he can get a good strike on this one. Just drags it out to the left. And they've scored 4 tries and still have basically 20 points on the board.
He certainly struck it well there, did Kobe Black, just away to the left. So 20 points to 4. That's now 20 straight points from the Marsden side. 5.5 gone in this second half. Glorious day here in Wynnum Manly. Cougarai Oval, the venue, home of the Wynnum Manly Seagulls and the Host Plus Cup. There's the Chook Pen in the background, the Mitch Cronin Hill, famous rugby league ground, David. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you played a few matches here over the years yourself, surely.
Absolutely, Drury. This has been the Wynnum ground for many years, albeit they did come into financial difficulty, Wynnum Football Rugby League Club, and they were defunct for a number of years, or didn't play out of this facility, and then ultimately came back, and now they're a juggernaut, Wynnum Manly, in the Host Plus Cup, and they've got some beautiful facilities here. So this has been a well-utilised rugby league ground, Cougarai Oval, and the surface is immaculate. It does run, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, east-west. The side's running from right to left later on in the afternoon, and we've got 3 other big quarterfinals of the Langer Trophy still to come. They'll be looking up into that sun, and it's always a tricky situation running east-west. Let's see how Caloundra can go this time to work their way out of their own territory. They haven't had a lot of ball. The possession would be, I reckon, 70% Marsden almost. So it'd be good to see what Caloundra can do with a bit of ball. They've been called on to do a lot of tackling of late. Taking up that left-hand side. That's through Snowden. Dummy half is Marks. He's at the Storm Academy as well. Around that far side. Bouvet pops the ball on. Almost inside the 20. So they'd like nothing more than to have a real good go at the try line. The big number 10 comes back in again as Higgins. Covered reasonably comfortably. Good quick play the ball though. That'll help them if they can use it out of there. Dummy half is a little bit hesitant. Up this time to Clellan. He puts the kick up. Then they capitalise as well. Good take. Beautiful.
That's Samuel again, and Will Samuel's away. No, the referee's called it back in Baden Sawyers. Can you believe it, David? Just about everyone here in the crowd rose to their feet then.
They thought it was going to be on, but looks like there would have been an obstruction or a block on one of the players coming through. I like to call it these days an escort. Sometimes they go on for escorts, and I think they're very, very dubious. All the rule says is you cannot change your line. You can stop wherever you choose. You can go back toward, well, you can choose your line. You can't change your line. Let's see what Caloundra can do now. They'd like to get their second try up. Little play at the back of the run.
Oh no, they've come towards this broadcast side through their hands, and just a little drops, a little knock on there by the centre. That was the number 3 on that occasion in Malachi Blow. So we'll get a scrum to pack down. Marsden loose head and feed. 20 points to 4, 8 3/4 minutes gone here in the second half. Drury Forbes alongside David Wright, former Australian international. Righty, we mentioned your captain, Wayne Bennett. Little birdie tells me he put on a little bit of hospitality for you at a recent Dolphins game for you and the grandkids. What did Wayne Bennett?
Yes, mate, it was very good of Benny. He organised to have all the grandkids into the dressing room after the game, and they were. I must admit, the Dolphins they beat Titans that day, so it was a pretty good dressing room. Benny was in his classic form as he walked around the dressing room and got quite a bit of humour. You don't often see it, but quite a bit of humour from the players in reflecting on what happened on that day. Here's a lost ball. This is another chance for Caloundra. But I'll tell you who else was good. Like all the Dolphins players, they were really welcome. They autographs for the kids, photos. They were really embraced the whole situation. So quite a special day, and thanks to my old teammate Wayne Bennett for organising.
Which Dolphins player gave you and the kids the most time? Who'd you hang out with the most?
Jared Wallace was good. I'll tell you who. What's his name? The young bloke who's got the broken the bung shoulder. Gilbert. Gilbert was out. He came over and had a good chat. Sean O'Sullivan. But mate, they were all good. The kids were able to sort of move around the room, and they were very welcoming. It was well done by the Dolphins.
Who were the kids supporting after that experience, do you think?
Well, mate, the wonderful thing was they were cheering because for the Dolphins with all the Titans in the crowd, and it upset all the supporters. They were going, go Dolphins, and the rest of the crowd were quite put out by it.
Bouncing ball, we're going to stay with the play here, kick and chase, and regather here brilliantly by Kobe Black, who's through. The foot race is on. Wonderful cover tackle. Caloundra just hanging on by a thread. Gee, I thought Kobe Black was away then. Here come Marsden again. Another try would really hurt Caloundra.
Stolen.
And stolen. One-on-one tackle. Big play. Huge play. Could that be the turning point to spark something for Caloundra?
They've got to get possession, and that's one way to do it. Good work from Caloundra. The game is opening up a little bit, and this will suit Caloundra if they can just get a little bit of width in their attack as well. They can throw caution to the wind. It's a good young side, and a penalty here will help them as well. Continue that attack. It would make things interesting if they could get a try and put a bit of heat back on Marsden. They have been threatening, and this is there's no better opportunity than this one.
So tap and go. This would make things interesting. It's Jack Phillip, the number 1.
Off to the Bulldogs next year.
Yeah, signed with the Canterbury Bulldogs indeed. Brevet, we mentioned him, also Storm signed currently in year 10. And now Toby Irvine, another one in the Melbourne Storm Academy. In fact, that's Irvine now at first receiver. It was actually played there by, it was Terrell Hopkins, now centre of the park here. Caloundra. Little kicking behind from McLellan. And Brevet has emerged with it. 6 more as well. So the time is now for Caloundra. They simply must score here. McLellan. Back-to-back sets. And from dummy half, that was smart by Marks. And now they're overclaiming the try. I think they've got there as the referees confer. And it is try time. Try time to Caloundra. They have scored. And that is just what the doctor ordered.
Good work back on the inside. Nice little split play at dummy half. And the punching run, he must have only just got it down because the ball did ultimately come loose. But that's exactly what... Well done by Caloundra. The penalty obviously was handy, which allowed them to go on from there. And the referee being just quizzed on... that Kobe Black, who's questioning the ref and the decision process, but that's okay. He did it in the right way. But good work here from Caloundra. That's only their second try. This shows you if they get a little bit of ball, they have got attacking capacity. They've struggled a bit without the ball. They're not as big and strong as Marsden, and they've tended to dominate physically and therefore commanded territory. Caloundra, to their credit, their second try, and the kick's important. 2010 is catchable. Still a long way to go though.
So here comes the conversion attempt. It's an important one, and the 2 points are there for Caloundra. Well done, Caden Humphreys. So Humphreys with the conversion, 20 plays 10 here with just over 15 minutes to go. Sudden death, Allalanger Trophy football, and for those watching on, the Allalanger Trophy consists of those school kids in years 11 and 12. As we mentioned, there is an exception with Brivet out there, the year 10er.
Yep.
But usually it's years 11 and 12.
Yeah, and it's an exceptional talent if you can make the top grade out of grade 10, and Brivet has been one of those. Others have done it. But this is the elite schoolboys for Southeast Queensland. There are other 2 competitions going on as we speak. The Dolphin Cup, which is up in Central Queensland, and we'll see the winner of that ultimately come forward to play the winner of the Aaron Payne Cup, which is North Queensland. So ultimately they all get to a final for the Phil Hall Cup, the Queensland final, and then even a national final, which of course is what Ipswich won last year. So great opportunities for these young kids, and it's a credit to all these schools too, Drury. They've got some terrific academies going now at the schools where they're looking to make sure the players are getting everything as it relates to sport support, but also academia. Good pass here by the Caloundra boys.
Here's a chance for Caloundra now. It's the big fella and Bradley Higgins. Last play here. Brendan Marks again really making an impact. Quick play out to the halfback in McClellan. They keep it moving. Zach Barton, and the defence just read that beautifully, quite frankly. David Wright, the defensive Marsden, will get a changeover.
Yeah, perhaps some of the Caloundra boys weren't quite aware that was last tackle. It was a good opportunity to put a high ball up and maybe take your chances. Very important now if they're going to stay in this to set their defensive line and don't allow Marsden to march up the field. We'll have 2 parts of the game, one with the ball and one without, and that penalty will help Marsden. A bit of over vigour in the tackle. It's Marsden. Well, they'll get down toward the halfway line.
Of course, Marsden, the school of the great Cameron Smith. They've got the Cameron Smith stand out there, and wouldn't be surprising to see an Andrew Peach statue out that way at one point, David, out Marsden Way.
Yeah, Andrew
the
Peach,
great man.
He was the principal at Marsden for many, many years, and award-winning principal, now works with the NRL. I wouldn't be surprised if Peachy is there today. I haven't seen him running the sponge, but he could well be doing it. But yes, Cameron Smith, Jaden Sewer, Brinko Lee, Tessie New, Israel Folau, they all went to Marsden. It's been a great nursery and continues to be so. One of the biggest schools, well, anywhere in Australia. There's almost 4,000 children that go to Marsden, and it's a very, very highly regarded school in all departments.
Now here they go, Marsden. 10-point advantage. Of course, this knockout football, it's 1v7. Top-ranked Marsden with it. 10 away as Corey Pearce comes towards the big front row forward in Kai Harley. They keep it away. They got lots of size, the Marsden players. That was through Andrews. And now Pearce goes to ground. The ball comes loose. Caloundra have it. Caloundra with the football.
Well, they threw a bit at them then, Marsden. So well done by Caloundra to save the day there. It does give them just some hope. Run out of dummy half. Brevet again, I think. Just looking at Marsden, mate, they're the biggest school in the Southern Hemisphere. That's at 4,000 children, the biggest school. So that takes a lot of managing. They've got a very good reputation, obviously. And their rugby league is one of their fundamental platforms, along with a lot of other sports, I might add. And as I say, they always emphasise academia and also the development of each of the students.
They go wide early here to William Samuel Marsden, a little show and go. David Wright, you're hearing his dulcet tones in the commentary box. The man regarded as one of the most intelligent front rowers to play the great game of rugby league. Of course, the origins of that sentiment is around his role in building the Gateway Bridge in Brisbane as chief engineer, we're told.
Well, I am an engineer, Drew, but I wasn't chief engineer on that job. I was general manager of it, and what a great project that was. The $2 billion Gateway Bridge project, and as I've said before, it's the closest thing to a sporting team. You get great bonds within the sporting arena, and the same occurred within that project, which was the reason it was so successful, everyone pulling together.
20 points to 10, Marsden with it. They're coached by Matt Hardigan, and the coach for Caloundra is Toby Poole. And Marsden just looking to extend that lead back out to the teens. Great positioning here, 11 metres out centre of the park. Pearce onto Black. Black steps inside, did all the hard work, and then close to the line, delivers on a platter. Try time Marsden underneath the posts.
Good pass there by Kobe Black back on the inside. He danced around a couple of times and got into a bit of space. And had the big fella coming straight back up the middle. Shows you they can take their chances, Marsden. Kobe Black with a little bit of footwork. He's one of the top players. He's also signed by the Broncos, played Wynnum Manly Mal Meninga Cup, so he'd be familiar with this particular field. Kobe Black, and the pass back on the inside to one of the big boys to put it under the sticks.
He's been outstanding this afternoon. In fact, he's been outstanding all tournament, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's
Kobe Black.
Yeah, one of the best players.
The skipper.
Yeah, and the Broncos have got their eye on him. And what I like about Drew, these halves, I like the sharp one. You know, a lot of them are well organised and, got little kicking games and all, but I like the sharp ones too, who can step and go and set up. And that was an indication. Here's Black, he kicks goals as well and kicks them comfortably from right in front. That'll give him a comfortable lead.
Indeed. So 26 points to 10 with less than 10 to go. It's a handy lead. I wonder if Caloundra will consider the short kickoff here. Of course, this knockout football, it is win or go home here at Cougarai Oval. Quarterfinals of the Alan Langer Trophy. It's quarterfinal day. Great to have your company. Drury Forbes alongside former Challenge Cup winner and Australian international David Wright. Of course, he had a celebrated career at Brothers, and then that one season at the end there at the Nerang Roosters, he took up about half the salary cap. 26 points to 10.
Wasn't a big salary cap in those days. Well, I think both sides will be okay on this game. I think Caloundra are always the underdogs, but they have acquitted themselves, I think, quite well. And Marsden, well, they've come here to do the job, and that's get into the semi-finals that'll be on next week. But this is where they've been so dominant. Midfield, they roll up the field. The defence, particularly of Caloundra now, and has it for most of the game, hasn't moved up. You've got to stop that roll on, otherwise they'll just pick you to pieces.
And now chance here for Marsden. In fact, Caloundra, it is Vui Pola with the try. It is Marsden, in fact. My apologies, but no, it's been called back.
Yeah,
looked like Kylan Vui-Pola was in there for Marsden. That would have been the seal. It will come back to a penalty, though, so they'll get another crack here, Marsden State High School.
Yeah, they have kicked the ball well, Marsden. I think they've got very adept kicking. Both the halves, Andrews and Black, have been very good at that. They couldn't recover on that particular occasion. Vui-Pola, who got across the try line, couldn't ground it. But they're going to, well, again, take the scrum and see what they can do from here. They'll be hard to hold.
They will indeed. And again, their set moves and wrapping around, and it went to ground with an errant pass, but they might still be good enough here. Marsden, Saxon, Innes, and Caloundra have done exceptionally well, as Marsden just getting a little too cute there. It was just their execution. The idea was righty, but a couple of the passes didn't quite stick.
Yeah, the message there is once you put on one of those set moves, and here's a penalty now going to Caloundra, so they'll get down the other end of the field and have a chance to put more points on. But Marsden put on one of their favourite little scrum plays with a couple of wraparounds, and it didn't work. It went to ground. That's when you just pack your bags on the first tackle and say, okay, we'll come at you another time. Instead, they tried to keep it alive and played a bit of catch-up footy and ultimately conceded possession early in the tackle count. Let's see what Caloundra can do from here.
Indeed. Well, basically need to score 3 tries, Caloundra, in the space of 6.5 minutes. Not impossible, but like certainly that doesn't help, David. In fact, maybe that just makes it a little bit more tougher.
Yeah, verging on the impossible, but
yep.
You needed to control possession there. I think it was the big fella in Patterson. Again, at least they were trying to keep it alive and at least create opportunities at this end of the game, and at this stage, you got nothing to lose. See if they've got another trick play deep inside their own territory. Is Marsden straight through.
Gee, and wonderful pass away. And here they go, Marsden. It's Petrosevich. And what a covering tackle there by Irvine. As they go the short side, perhaps the pass was batted down. And a penalty awarded by referee Baden Sawyers going the way of Marsden State High School.
Well, that was some desperate defence there by Caloundra. A good bust it was to put them away. And then Petrosevic just couldn't go the distance. And the ball has been knocked on by Marsden, and therefore a chance. Maybe they went into touch. So good chance now for, again, Caloundra to perhaps get some more points on. They've got to control possession. Good work to pop it out the back, keep a second phase going.
Yep, Zach Barton it is. So they need a miracle now, Caloundra.
That won't help.
It certainly won't. And if it was the verge of impossible before that, it well and truly almost is now. And we might just have a double knock on here as the clock continues to tick down at Cougarai. Of course, the winner of this to progress to the semi-finals. And Marsden, they're in the box seat. They qualified in first position. And they were the best throughout the regular season with, quite simply, an outstanding record.
Yeah, they did. They were undefeated, but did have 2 draws in their passage through to the finals. They ended up with, I think, 12 points out of the possible 14. And that put them in. And then Maple Park were about 11 points. And
haven't they emerged as a real
well and truly, mate? They've been terrific
outfit in recent years. So they had a program out there run by the gentleman whose name I can't think of, the Englishman. He's done a great job, of course. Alex Leopai coming through over there at Maple Park, who's signed with the Titans. Alex Leopai Jr., I should say, yes. Son of Alex Leopai, the boxer.
The boxer, yes, and they've been really one of the
emerging
sides. One of the emerging sides they are, yeah, and they've been very impressive. We'll see their game in our next one, Drew, the next quarter final. The Maple Park will come up against my old school, Wavell. But Maple Park, one of the top sides in the competition, ran second.
We're hearing Leopai in some doubt for that one too, Righty. The Titans signed forward for Maple Park.
Yes, I believe he's listed as the number 20, but not sure whether he will actually play today.
A head knock during the week is the word on the streets, or the word around town, I should say. Let's hope he's okay. Alex Leopai, of course, should Maple Park get through.
He does a bit of boxing himself, Drew. Maybe he was in the ring having a bit of a workout.
Well, he might just be available for that next one if Maple Park can get past Wavell. Of course, David Wright, you were named in Wavell's team of the century, I believe.
They picked a team of the first 60 years of Wavell. Yeah, so there were some very good players. Greg Inglis went to Wavell, Darryl Broman, Lee Hutchison from my era. Some very good players. Adam Blair. Wavell's had a lot of the top guns come through the Wavell system.
Yeah, absolutely they have. And there's a beautiful pass there. And that's with Jalen Ohio. So Caloundra on the attack. Brivet's lurking. Little kick on the inside from Toby Irvine. It went straight, though, to Vuipola from Marsden. He'll get claimed in the tackle, 13 out from his own try line.
Yeah, Irvine will be disappointed with that. He looked back on the inside, decided to grab a kick, but straight to the fullback. It was easily diffused.
So Marsden, inside the final 2 minutes here at Cougarai Oval in Brisbane's inner east. And they trailed by 4-0 early on, Marsden. They've gone on to score 26 of the next 32 in what has been a first-class performance by Marsden, and that could even be a 40-20. Certainly, they are the ones to beat this year, David. Marsden, of course, they won their first and only Alalanger Trophy title back in 2021. But they're certainly back with a bang in season 2023 after having perhaps a season below their expectations last season. They're well and truly back and the leading contenders in 2023.
Yeah, they're an impressive side. You don't get to this situation. Here's a good break here, straight up the middle. Too easy it was for
Cairo Ruri, that's his second.
he won't get an easier one, just stepping through the middle, and that's been one of the problems with Caloundra. Their frontline defence has been gapped on a few occasions, and Ruri steps through nicely. But coming back to Marsden overall, I mean, they're obviously a very good footy team. They haven't played their best today, and I don't want to underestimate that. What's been good has been sharp, but there's been a couple of periods where they haven't been at their best. And as you progress into this final series, they'll now qualify, obviously, into the semi-finals next week, and that's when it gets really tight. So it'll be very interesting to see just how these sides progress from here. The big guns in the competition, Marsden finished first, Maple Park second, we'll see them shortly, and then Ipswich finished third, and Palm Beach Currumbin. So there's still some very strong sides, and Marsden will need to be at their best. I've seen a few glimpses of them today to suggest they could play some really good footy. They were allowed to make some pretty easy territory. I don't think that'll happen as the competition further heats up into semis and finals. But they'd be happy with what they've done. They can build on that.
Kobe Black, the right footer. And it's a beautiful strike right on the siren. 32 points to 10. The final scoreless Marsden State High School. They progress through to the Alalanga Trophy semi-finals.